we have to talk for a second about PRP because that has really, I think, also changed the treatment of hair loss. So tell us, sort of maybe what's new and, where are you using it most?
hmm So, I think one of the things that people love talking about is stem cells, right?
Yes.
Like they're just so sexy and everybody thinks it's the greatest thing ever. Well, where PRP I think is going to continue to add value to us in the hair regrowth space is that they're a safe autologous form of stem cells, right? We know that it's coming from that person alone, it's staying in their body. We don't have to worry about it getting sourced from, some kind of a blood bank in a foreign country where they may or may not test for different diseases. And, even if they do test for diseases, what about the diseases we don't even know about yet? Like what happened to those poor hemophiliacs back in the 1980s, right? Um, I think PRP is like low level light therapy. I think we can expect modest results from it. I don't usually promise the moon to my patients when we're incorporating PRP. Um, but where it can be helpful is, if you have somebody, even who has maybe like chronic telogen effluvium, you can incorporate that, and sometimes that will help arrest, whatever shedding they might be having. In terms of the data, they've actually done several meta analyses looking at different techniques, which protocols seem to be the best. And I think most of us still use what was published by Amelia Hausauer several years ago, basically recommending 3 monthly treatments followed by maintenance treatments every 3 to 6 months thereafter. Um, and the other thing that Dr. Aditya Gupta from Canada found in his meta analysis is that probably activating the platelets is a good idea. So if you can add either things like calcium gluconate or calcium chloride, that's in one of the commercially available PRP kits, that will probably help release those growth
Release the growth
factors
factors.
a little bit quicker. Exactly.
Oh, that
So
makes
you
sense.
get a little bit more assurance that the platelets are going to do their job.
So again, it sounds like it's a part of a comprehensive treatment plan, more than likely.
Yeah, we sometimes will inherit patients who have already done a whole bunch of PRPs in another clinic,
Sure.
I feel bad for them when I say, well, what about minoxidil? What about finasteride? And they may or may not even have been told about these treatment options.
Hmm.
So I think what we have to realize, as dermatologists is just that we have to always kind of go in a stepwise ladder and just go by the things that have the most data to support their use, and not just the things that necessarily might increase your bottom line.